Hello, and thank you for joining us on the Spice Shack podcast where superfans get together and talk about the latest episode of Survivor. And we're back after a couple of months of being off, and you know what? I felt like I've spent what 3, 4, 5 years, not months, waiting for the new Survivor to start.
Same.
How yeah, how did you guys feel on the during the off season of Survivor?
Bored. I kept on waiting for it to start because there's not much on that I watch. So
Oh,
I
there's
was
a lot.
like, no,
So
not me.
for
Big
people that
brother.
are not seeing
Nope.
something weird, I didn't even introduce myself. I'm your host, Saul, and with me, as always, Kim. Kim, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. And like always, I always have to say how much I love and I miss my son every day. But it's good to be back. So, hi, everybody.
And unfortunately, Randy won't be able to join us for the season. We'll see if he's able to continue later on. Mark might be joining us in a little bit, but we do have my good buddy Greg joining us here for the episode.
How's it going?
And Greg is also my co-host for my other podcast, Nurse in the Crypt. So um, we found out that we actually both love reality TV, including Survivor. And Greg's also a big fan of Big Brother. I know a lot of you guys like Big Brother.
It is true. We had a like when we found out we both watched this stuff. We had like that whole nerd out. Like it was basically over text. Just like, oh my god.
And we have Caroline already on the chat here saying hi. So thank you for joining us, Caroline. We did start about what a good 25 minutes late, just things that came up. So hopefully anybody who was planning on joining in didn't get discouraged by that. But let's talk about Survivor. I mean, we like I said, we went a couple of months without an episode, and I was really just feeling like it had been so long before it came back. And what do you guys think? Let's say mm, one word to describe the premiere.
Oh, here
Kim,
we are with the words again.
Kim, one word.
Boat.
Oh, Greg, what would you use to describe this finale? Finale.
Um,
I'm already
it's it
already.
yeah, because it's over. No, no, just joking. Oh, I would say, I mean, intense.
I would say
Or rain.
amazing. I would say amazing. I liked this premiere so much more than a lot of the premieres in recent memory. And I'll talk about a little bit more about it as to why. But what do you guys actually just and without going into the actual episode, but just general thought?
Oh, well, the episode?
Yeah, in the episode, in little.
I thought it was a great episode. I'm definitely rooting for one team over the other. Uh,
Yeah, I think it's gonna be for almost everybody's gonna have one or the other. They're gonna be going for.
For sure.
I think and everybody will probably be on the same page. I think most people root for the same team. There were incredibly unlikable people on the Goliath team. So I can't wait to talk about some of them because not a fan.
But yeah, so Survivor, David versus Goliath is the theme for this particular season. I know, at least for me, I wasn't so thrilled when I heard the uh, the title of it. Sometimes it takes a little bit to kind of get used to the new title. With them being in Fiji and just going by theme now from season to season, rather than changing the name of the season by location. And the way that they actually explained it, I guess it makes sense. But come on, I mean, it's technically it's contenders or champions, right? Survivor Australia.
I did not watch Survivor Australia.
Oh, okay.
My
I
son
know I
too,
heard
man.
it was good, but you know what?
It's still going on. Oh,
I
you're still
just
upset at Christy.
I'll never get over that. But with that said, I just don't have time. Like I barely have time to do anything anymore. And That's probably one of the reasons I didn't watch Big Brother this year. Other than I'm tired of the same concept, but it is what it is.
Oh, it was so good. It was different.
So let's talk about the actual theme of this episode, or this season. The Davids are come from what? How did Jeff explain it? It's a tribe of people who've had to pretty much work their whole life, struggle through life to get to where they're at, versus Goliath that usually come through with some sort of advantage, whether it be growing up in with middle class, or growing up with with athletic um, with skills,
Mhm.
or being with looks, some sort of advantage that that seems to put them above anywhere else. And the Goliath team, the Goliath um, tribe, seemed to not really like the label they were getting. How did you guys think? What did you guys think about the way it was split up, the team?
I kind of I liked it. I thought it
Um,
was
I think they're always trying to push something like David for Goliath and just trying to make any story up to go with whatever theme they're making up. Um, the theme doesn't really make much sense to me. I love the characters, so that's great. But Probes is always looking for something. So, the woman that's the doctor, that blonde chick. I mean, she had to bust her behind to become a doctor. You know what I mean? It's not like it was handed to her. I mean, she went to school forever. Yeah, maybe she came from an upper middle class family, but that doesn't mean anything. So I really don't like the theme, but I try to just pretend the theme's not there because within 3 episodes we're swapping buffs anyway, and the theme
Mhm.
means nothing anymore.
Well, in this case, I think it will be 4 episodes, and then there'll be a
Yeah,
twist.
maybe 4 because of what
Yeah,
happened at the end.
yeah. Well,
yeah.
I mean, well, no, 4 because so it can be 16. But then again, they can always do the whole exile island.
3,
Yeah,
they
they
can
can do.
definitely
Oh,
go to
that's
3
true.
tribes.
That's true.
It could,
So the
yeah,
way that
I can mix
the
it
way
up.
this, yeah, the way that this were split up, the David tribe is and consists of B, Carl, Christian, Davy, Gabby, Jessica, Nick, Elizabeth, Pat, and Lursa. Lursa is that how she said her name was? I think that's how she said it. And the Goliath tribe was Alec, Allison, Angelina, Daniel, John, Jeremy, Kara, Mike, Natalia, and Natalie.
Can I
That
just say something real quick? Um, I have an intense dislike for who can guess. There's 2, but the one is really more than the other.
I gotta know who.
Oh,
Come
I'm
on,
trying to,
Raul, Saul, get it. Who don't I like?
hmm, I don't know. I don't know. Tell me.
Angelina
Okay, okay.
and John.
Oh,
John the this, John the that. Oh, shut up, John. I get it. I
The
yeah,
get it.
he's well,
the mayor of Slamtown?
he's playing his character. I know he's playing his character.
And yeah, I get that he's supposed to, and production is probably forcing it, but I really, really don't like Angelina. Like,
Oh,
there's nothing about her I like. And she was probably cast to play this, I'm blah, 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 but I just don't like her.
yeah. Well, Angelina, she was the one that was like laughing at the David tribe, right?
Yes, she
Yeah.
was. And she had her hands on the hip doing the Paris Hilton pose, and I just couldn't stand her. And I'm like, this chick has got to go.
Just want to slap the crap out of her.
By the way,
I wanted to kick her off the boat.
by the
You're
way,
like, get
Caroline
out.
was able to guess it. I was gonna say Angelina, but then I'm like, I don't know if she's. I was looking for someone who's really arrogant or something.
Are you going to
I'll go.
talk about Natalie?
Oh, well, Natalie, I think she's just very outspoken and very
Demanding,
demanding.
bossy.
Mhm. But
But Natalie, I couldn't be on Natalie's team, but I don't think she's a nasty person. I just think that that's how she is. That's her job. She's a CEO of a company, and she just hammers down.
Yeah, I mean, and especially with if they're not doing something, I can get why she would get on people. That's because she's a CEO. You always want production out of your people. But also at the same time, I didn't feel like she was doing much other than delegating or telling people what to do. And
Yes,
I think she
she
was
didn't know. She didn't do much.
yeah.
Greg, what are your thoughts
I,
on Natalie?
I was gonna say she definitely fit into that CEO bracket, the delegator, the person who's like, okay, I'm gonna program manage the heck out of this. I want to make sure that um, everyone is doing what I think needs to be done, and we're gonna stay on task. If that means I'm gonna be hollering at people to find out where they're at, because it seemed like she was hollering at people. What are you doing? Where are you at? How are you doing
When
this?
she wasn't doing anything.
No,
Who
she
was it that
wasn't, but
she?
She was
Yeah.
supervising. She was
Who
supervising.
did she
yes,
annoy? Natalia? Who was it that she really got under their skin?
Yeah, I think it was Natalia. And
yeah,
she's the one that really started like throwing shade at her right away. Especially when she went out to look for Mike. And I'm gonna tell you, Mike, I know him from The Amazing Race,
Amazing
mhm,
Race.
yeah,
and I
yeah.
know him from School of Rock, and I know I've seen him on other things here and there. And I always kind of liked the guy. He kind of rubbed me the wrong way in this episode, though.
Oh, because
Did
Yeah, he was
he was
like
I
being
like
slinking
him.
around.
You know
he
what?
kept
I
on.
think that he's so excited to be on the show that he just wants to say, even if he doesn't win, he got to experience all these different things. I like Mike. I love the David tribe because I'm always rooting for a nerd or an underdog. And
I
I
gotta
hope
say,
that team
I
wins.
gotta say, I think right now my two favorite. Well, I have three favorites. I have Christian is one of my favorites. Gabby,
That's the nerd with the glasses, right?
yes, yes.
Oh, I love him.
Gabby
Big Bang
and
Theory.
Big Bang
Yeah.
Theory. Yes.
Gabby, which one's Gabby?
Gabby is the food owner.
The
Yeah,
one?
the one that was like, "Oh, hey, let's team up," and she was
Yeah.
like, "Oh, I love smart guys," and then she was kind of quiet about it afterwards.
And then Christian was like, platonic. And then he's like,
Yeah.
Oh, okay, Gabby. I know who Gabby is.
yeah. And Elizabeth, the I forgot what she does. I think what is she, a farmer or something like that.
Is it a
Oh yeah,
cowboy hat?
Yes.
yeah.
Um, I hope those are the three people that are able to carry this show and be the
I'm gonna ask you a question. Are these three in your draft?
Gabby and Christian are.
I figured.
I wanted Elizabeth, but I think Doug got her before I did.
I think Doug did too. I have Natalia, Alec, John, and who else do I have?
Caroline hates Mike. She thinks he's annoying, but she loves the hot cop. She likes John.
Dan? He's too. Whatever his name is. No, he's dumb. Not that you're dumb for loving him, but what I'm saying is that he was already like, oh, Cara. Are you kidding me?
Oh my
It's day one. It's day one.
day
Do
one
you
on the
not watch
showmance.
the show to know that showmances are the devil of reality shows? They
Big
usually
targets.
don't make it anywhere near the end. Yes, we have Rob and Amber. They are the exception to the rule. But I really can't think of really anyone else that made it that far into Survivor that were a couple.
Wendell and Dominic.
They weren't a couple, though. They're bromance.
I know that. I'm playing it.
But I
But
can't. Can you think of a showmance?
Here's what my take on Daniel. Um, I don't know how big of a fan he is to
Not
know
one.
not to do that, or
No, he doesn't.
which would make him a bad player to start off with, or if it's worse, no, if it is worse, if he does know and he still went for it.
Oh,
Because if
I
he
don't
does,
think that he's a huge fan. I think that he's just some guy, not that he's not a great guy or anything like that, that lost a ton of weight. So he used to be this probably fat, ugly guy that nobody bothered. He lost all this weight, so he's a good-looking cop now. And now all the chicks are probably getting down, and he gets attention and he gets a show. And don't show Mance now, because think about what you can get when the show is over. And by the way, there is no Michael this season. Do you remember how much I loved him last season?
Yeah.
That little 18, 19-year-old boy that looked like a man. Okay? He looks like a man, and oh my God.
And the odd chance that Michael's actually watching, Kim's likes you.
I'm old enough to be more than his mother, but holy crap. And then didn't he showmance it up after the show? Didn't he get involved with one of those?
With, I don't remember who he was with. Libby?
I think so. One of the young blonde chicks.
Yeah, I think it was.
But I just don't understand why not take advantage and just, as a guy, smash just a bunch of chicks.
So let's go on with the first challenge. So the marooning maroon is not a full marooning like it's been, but we get them coming into this boat where they have to get their first, what is it, decisions. The Goliath tribe gets to pick the two weakest people from the David tribe and the two strongest people from Goliath, and then the David tribe gets to choose the courses, the course path. So and of course the paths have various degrees of difficulty. So of course the Davids choose what they believe is the easiest path and the easiest puzzle, and the Goliaths
We're
go
skipping
through.
over the entire thing where Probes made the Goliath pick the David team, and then the
No, no,
two
I said
weakest
that. I said that.
players.
Yeah.
Did you
I'll
say
get there.
that?
Yeah, I
Okay.
and then of course the Goliaths got the track that the Davids thought the most difficult, and the Davids that got chosen were Christian and who was the girl? Lursa, right? Lursa,
Hmm.
Lurch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the Davids chose John and what's her name? Cara? No, Angelina.
No, it was
Oh,
the blonde chick.
Allison. Yeah,
I thought that the Goliaths chose who they were sending.
Yeah, they
yeah,
chose
yeah.
they chose themselves.
They chose themselves. The Davids didn't choose them. The Goliaths chose themselves. The
Yeah.
Davids got to choose what challenges they did.
Yeah. So I thought the that Christian and Larsa chose perfectly. They were
Wisely.
able to get through. They were
Yeah.
able to get through the first obstacle pretty fast. John and was it Allison? Yeah. They got through their part relatively fast, but not as fast as the Davids. And then came through the was it like a net tube and the under the net kind of crawl, and then we
Yeah,
got
Yeah,
and
they
then
they cruised it.
and
yeah.
then we're skipping over the part where Miss Princess Angelina was laughing and saying that the Christian and Larissa, or whatever her name was gonna fall when they were kind of doing that thing where they had to walk over the water on that
Oh,
bar thing.
the weird wiggly
Yeah,
side
Yeah,
bridge.
and she was
they pulled it
laughing
up.
and saying they were gonna fall. I'm like, someone just needs to knock her out.
Push her
Oh
off.
no, and yeah, and
But I just don't. And here's the thing: there are plenty of people that when I didn't like David on his season, then I loved him. And then last season, who was it, Saul, that I didn't like, and then I ended up loving Joe.
the season before, yeah, Joe, and then
Joe, I didn't like Joe, and then I ended up loving him. So I could end up liking Angelina. We'll see what happens because David and Joe made it pass.
yeah. So yeah, so the Davids get to their puzzle first, followed almost right behind the Goliaths, and the Goliaths had to put it together this massive 15-piece cube puzzle, and the Davids were putting it together as a slide puzzle, and Christian does it like what 8 seconds or something like that, something
Yeah,
Yeah.
extremely fast.
so
And
fast.
it was so fast that the guys didn't even get. I don't even think they got like more than two pieces together before they were already lowering the kit, which was for the shelter.
Hmm. Yeah, the mayor of
Now,
Slamtown got slammed.
big time, yeah. And well, I mean, you can tell in his face, he's like, I can't believe I got beat by these nerds.
Totally.
And so yes, so the Davids were able to get this big old massive shelter building kit to get home, and right away we see Pat taking charge of the building the shelter, and he was starting to rub people the wrong way, and that kind of it surprised me. It didn't surprise me just based on how he said, talked about himself, from New York. I feel like people who are not from New York kind of sometimes get, well, not sometimes, a lot
Then
of times
they
they get
said
turned.
there's no trees in New York. Where are they from? Have they not read the book A Tree Grows in Brooklyn? Have they not been to Central Park? I mean, they look at Manhattan and then they see the city and then they're like, I don't see no trees. There's trees, dude. People who don't I'm Jersey. I don't know if you can tell.
No.
And
What?
I was annoyed. I like Pat, so he didn't rub me the wrong way.
The only
I
thing
like Pat too.
I didn't like about Pat was his shirt, the New York
I
Giants.
liked it. When he climbed up the tree and he was trying to axe down some of those
Oh,
branches, all I thought was he's either gonna fall or the axe is gonna drop and like stab someone.
I, yeah, I thought he's gonna like it was gonna slip out of his hand. It was gonna like tomahawk somebody, and they're gonna like medic.
Well, we'll get to Pat later on again. So yeah, I mean, like I said, I like Elizabeth. I like B is on my team as well. And
Who else is on my team?
I got three people from the Davids, and I'm happy with what I picked based on this first episode. I
I
got
just
B,
need to say who I have
Christian,
because
and
I
Pat.
don't remember.
So yeah, so we got a lot of character building in this episode, and I
Oh, for
really
sure.
loved the 90-minute premiere because we actually got a kind of an editing shift based on what we've received lately. We were able to actually stay on the island with the characters, and I think
Hmm.
Oh, I have Kara. That's who I have.
we,
Sorry.
okay. So yeah, so the editing
Supergirl.
switched over to being more of
Yes.
character building like we used to get in the first couple of seasons, and then we've lost in the last couple of seasons. Um, so yeah, so I mean, I really enjoyed the editing. I enjoyed getting to know the people, and like I said, I call them characters because this is not true the true 100% people that we get to see out there on Survivor. It's a character of themselves that are out there on the island. So, what do you guys think of the editing this episode? You guys notice something?
It was like
Um.
solid.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I definitely didn't see the ending coming.
Yeah, and I think I hope this is not the only reason why we got so much island time, because that's something that we've all kind of griped about in the past, is that we don't get enough time on the beach with the people interacting with each other.
Hmm.
Nowadays, we get a lot of the scheming, the idol searching, the looking for advantages, and the power plays. And we've lost the moments of between people. And I said it, I think, when our very first season here on the cast, that what I missed from when it started is the storyline between people who would normally not meet each other or normally not hang out with each other, getting together and getting to find out that they actually can be really good friends with people who they thought were not anything like them. Like Rudy and Richard.
Hmm.
And people like, and
Yeah.
that happened a lot throughout the very beginnings of Survivor. and we've kind of lost that as we went along. More for more gameplay, more strategy,
Yeah, a
and
lot of strategy.
yeah, and I really like that we've gone back to. I actually like I asked a couple people here on Twitter what they thought of the premiere. Um, I got I did it really last minute, like minutes before we came on. So we got
Classic.
Andrew. Yeah, that is actually a classic. Andrew actually who's guest on this show before. He said, "I thought the episode was great. I like the shift of focus into overall character development, like I was saying, especially compared to last season where the narrative seemed to revolve just around 2 or 3 players. Almost everyone this premiere had a lot of personal content, and it's not clear out of the gate who should or shouldn't be keeping an eye on." Yeah, I mean, last season, we had a clear, what is it, protagonist, I guess, and an antagonist with Dominic and Chris, and of course with
Hmm.
Wendell. All three of them, I feel like the beginning pre-merge, the camera was almost stuck on them throughout the whole pre-merge. And this time around, we kind of got having a better, um, what is it, level playing field with everybody.
For sure. Yeah. No, you got like enough time with each person to kind of build up your own. Oh, okay, this is who this is, and you don't. It's too early to really like. My wife said, she's like, I, I'm interested in what's going on, but episode 3 is where it really lights up, you know. So, and it's true. That's where usually a lot of the stuff that's being laid down right now is gonna build into something, or at least I'm sure they'll cut it that way, but
Yeah, and the thing is, usually with 20 castaways, it's there's going to be 1 or 2 people who don't make the cut of the first episode, and really take a while to even show up if they show up.
Mhm.
And I feel like because it was a 90-minute episode, or even if it was a 2-hour episode, like some of them are, we get to feel a lot of that more often. I would say 90-minute more, because 90 minutes it's only going to be one boot or one person going home, whereas when it's 2 hours, it's usually 2 people going home.
Mhm.
So they kind of cram 2 episodes in one, and we don't get that character building that we got this episode. So yeah, am I missing anything that you guys want to talk about? Anything that you guys can remember um, that came up in the episode? Caroline, what do you think of yesterday's episode so far that you haven't told us? Well, we're on a delay, so can y'all hear?
I hear
Yeah,
you.
All right, cool. Caroline was saying like she can't hear me, so yeah. If you guys can't hear me, let me know, and I'll make sure to try to remedy that. Okay. So yeah. Missing anything, guys? You guys remember? Oh, Dan got the idol, and
Oh, that's
it,
right. Dan did get the idol.
yeah.
And
it
they
was a
and
weird edit.
edited and they tricked you with that too because you had no idea he found it. But I need to say this. If he could have grabbed the idol, shoved it in his pants or shorts, and nobody would have known the wiser,
Right?
why did he need to tell people? Like, I don't understand. If I found an idol, I'm telling no one
Because he's a good
because no
guy.
one no one is worth $1 million. No one I meet on that island is worth $1 million. Nobody. I don't care if I fall in love on day one, which won't happen, but they're not worth $1 million. I'm going to keep that for myself and I'm going to tell no one. And I'm going to have an alliance of Kim. And by the way, since when do they make up alliance names in Survivor?
It's not Big
Because
Brother, right?
because he was like, we gotta come up with an alliance name. I'm like, did he try out for Big Brother and get denied? Because
What
Totally.
was it? I forgot
there's
what it was on
never
Twitter.
been an alliance name in the history of Survivor that I could remember.
I think there has been some, but it wasn't something like they went out and made it, like forced it. They kind of just like, oh, we're whatever.
He's
But
like, we need to come up with an alliance name. I'm like, aw. It's like when Jeff tried out for Survivor and they put him on Big Brother.
yeah, well, here's the thing. Like I said on Twitter, someone said there's a showman's and an alliance name. This is the most Big Brother episode of Survivor ever.
It is.
There was a showman's name.
Oh, Dan and Kara. No,
Yeah.
showman's and an alliance name.
Oh, okay. What was
all in one
the
episode.
what's the alliance name?
I forgot what the name was.
Thoroughbred or something, like something really stupid, right?
Yeah, yeah, it
Yeah.
was. Um, so yeah,
They want to get it
um,
trending in the Twitters.
Yeah, he
well,
had to. He had to try out for Big Brother, and they put him on Survivor. It
I
happens
think he
all the
was.
time. It
I think
happens
he
all
was
the time.
approached. I think he was approached because he, the hot cop. The reason why they call him the hot cop, for those that don't know, he was actually featured in a story where he was saving somebody, I believe,
That was
and
on fire.
everyone felt like yeah, fire or something, whatever. I don't know. He was a
I'm just joking.
fireman.
Oh, so that's how they
I think it
found
was a flood
him. Okay,
actually.
yeah, because
I think
he's
it was a flood.
definitely not a fan.
I think it was a flood.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the opposite of fire.
You said he was a hot cop. I thought he was on fire.
Oh, okay, okay. Water fire.
He's all right.
But
I
so
don't
what
think
happened is
he's
that
that hot.
when he came out
He's
of the
no
story,
Michael.
yeah, when he came out of the story, the there was a like when he went viral for being the hot cop. That's why they call him the hot cop.
Mm.
They don't call. I don't think they call him. I mean, they did call him hot cop out there though, right? So like, but they're
Did
not calling.
they? I don't think he's that
I think Kara
hot.
did. I think Kara did. But but that's the reason why they call him that.
Okay.
So yeah. So
To each their own.
let's go to the immunity challenge. And I gotta say, I really like the switch up of this number puzzle because the number puzzles are usually those little small ones and it's 1 through 100, and this thing is a huge puzzle that you have to actually go up on a little tower to be able to see and direct. And of course, Christian's the one's calling it for the Davids, and I think Allison or who was it? What um was calling it for the Goliaths.
Yeah, but
Um,
before you get there, though, I mean, just getting to that puzzle, that
yeah,
was like a gauntlet. Are we not going to
yeah.
talk about that?
Yeah. Well, I was gonna jump to the beginning real quick.
Oh, okay.
I was doing the whole
Sorry.
survival edit.
Sorry.
So yeah, so to begin with, I mean, you had to like get crisscross paths with everybody to get there. John was getting mugged by Pat on, on the challenge,
Yeah.
and I feel like John was like headbutting people
Oh,
or suplexing people in that, and then he got
yeah, he was
knocked out by
ruthless.
um who was it? He got knocked over by Jessica, I think. At one point, she was going through and she knocked him over. But
Yeah,
it was
got him in the
brutal. It was
legs.
brutal. Yeah, it was brutal to start with, and of course, then you have to do that. Go up the ladder. I do like the point that if you got to the rope first, um, then the other team had to undo knots rather than be able to cut the rope. So they got penalized for not being there first. I always like kind of things like that. That not either you have to choose your own path or you get penalized. So it really gives an incentive to get to through the portion first.
For sure.
Um, so yeah, at the end of the day, the Davids lose and the Goliaths get immunity for the first. And we're gonna talk about this very fast because they didn't actually get to go to tribal council. Um, it was really confusing what happened to at least for me because it came from commercial. It looked like they were looking at water, and then I went black, and the next thing we know, they're carrying Pat out of the water, out of the boat, in a stretcher. This is something that we really never, well, not really, you never want to see on Survivor, especially when you don't know what happened. You don't know how severe it is. And from what I understood, and correct me if I'm wrong, from what I understood, they were on the choppy waters, all kind of what is it? Kind of sitting on the edge of the boat or on the side of the boat, like this boat. I think they're all kind of sitting somewhere
Yeah.
towards the outside. And when the boat hit a wave, from what I understood, the boat went up on a wave, came down, and when that happened, David's back hit the edge of the boat or hit something on the boat to the point where it might have fractured um, a lower back bone or vertebrae. and so I live with back pain from a car accident, and I can say it is not fun just having a little bit of pain, a little bit of spasm. So I can't even imagine how a fractured vertebrae or anything back there that's fractured can feel.
Uh, dude, when he said that he heard a crack and that it then all of a sudden he just like all the pain and everything else, it sent me back 10 years ago when I literally like mangled myself. I had compressed SI through L5 joints and vertebrae problems in the low back and then up in my neck as well. And just knowing what a back injury like I went through, and to see him just out, and he was and watching him like just earlier in the show being like Tarzan in the tree,
Hmm.
you know, chopping it down and just being kind of like a workhorse and stuff like that. And here's this guy that doesn't seem like he's gonna have anything take him down. And it was just like it was intense.
Yeah. I'm not someone who gets like emotional at almost anything, but seeing him not want to go home
Hmm.
because of that really got me. Mainly because I am a big fan of Survivor, and I know that if I was out there finally being able to compete, that it would have really just tore me up having to go home that late.
Did they say if he was really hurt? Because I don't remember them saying if he had anything wrong.
They didn't. They couldn't technically pinpoint it. Um,
I think at the end they said they had like a little
Yeah,
blurb that said he,
I saw that. I mean, it sucks to go. I mean, I didn't get emotional over it. It takes a lot to
um,
make me emotional.
Caroline was saying
But
that she's upset that they didn't get to show it, but I feel like because it was unexpected,
yeah.
and I think on the boat rides back, they stopped recording because there's not, and that from what I understand, they're not even able to talk to each other when
Hmm.
they're going from challenge to challenge or going, you know, to tribal council. They're not allowed to talk. They're under lock and key as far as, um, if you talk, I think you get in trouble, whatever. I'm not sure. I mean, I'm not sure what they're gonna do, but you're not supposed. So they stop recording or they put the cameras down. So I feel like when all that started happening, I feel one of the people turned on their cameras to see what they can catch, and then it was so choppy that they couldn't really get a good good view of it.
Hmm.
Um, if from all the medevacs that, um, I can see not getting caught, I think this one would be it. Unlike, when Scoopin fell in the fire in season two, I can't believe no one caught that because there it was during regular camp life,
Regular
and
camp, yeah.
that's all supposed to get caught. Uh, um,
you
What
know
was
why
it?
his
Sorry,
hand
go ahead.
should have burned off, right?
Yeah, you're sounding pretty far away now.
Do you know why his hand should have freaking burned off?
Oh yes, yes, I know that. That's beyond the. What I was saying is, that should have got caught by on camera. Um, um, but yeah, so unfortunately, Pat has to go home. No first boot. It's not. It's not a way that I like an episode to end.
No.
Nowadays, when there is a medevac, there usually there is still a vote and someone goes home.
Hmm.
I think the exceptions are when it's in the premiere. So I think in what is it? Worlds, not Worlds Apart. One World, when Kat, was that her name? Kat broke her not Kat. What was her name? She broke
Her wrist.
her wrist.
Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't vote anybody off. She was gone. If I remember correctly.
Hmm.
So yeah, so I think that's the only time they don't do that, or when there's not enough people to boot someone off. Usually with 10 people, they have a couple of double boot episodes. But unfortunately, unfortunately, this is the way episode one ends. Great episode, great editing. I feel like I've talked so much about the edit, that provided to us, but I really enjoyed this first episode.
It was solid.
With that, um, we did have a draft, um, and I'm not gonna have it on screen here like Randy was
I'm
supposed to
winning.
do it. But yes, Kim is winning. Her team is Alec, which I forgot that he was even on on this show because I don't remember him saying anything. Alec, Natalia, John, Kara. She's got 12 points. She's in first place. Mark is who wasn't able to join us today, but Mark has Mike, Carol, Natalie, Angelina with 11 points. So he's just right behind. Randy had Dan, Elizabeth, Nick, and Jessica. He has 10 points, followed by me. I'm not last place. Jeremy, Gabby, B, Christian with 9 points. And then Doug has Pat, Lursa, Davey, and Allison. He has 8 points because Pat unfortunately got medevac. Um, who do you guys think would have been voted off if they did go to tribal council?
It might have been Pat.
I think Pat was in trouble because um, of the bossiness, but I feel like Nick was more in trouble, and I get that he shared a real personal story,
Hmm.
but I still feel like he was rubbing people the wrong way because he wasn't doing anything, and people
Yeah,
noticed that he wasn't doing anything.
that's what I thought. I thought he was more like in the crosshairs, if you will, to be voted out because of the way that he wasn't participating like everyone else, and he was out doing his own thing.
So
I
Nick
have a
only went.
question for you about when Nick and they all were sharing these intimate, private stories.
Hmm.
Why? Like, I don't get it. Like, for me, there's stuff I haven't shared, like, ever. I'm not
Oh
going to
yeah.
sit around a fire with a camera for a million people and strangers I don't know to be like, oh, and da 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 da. You know, like, no, I don't know you.
Some people I think um, just naturally are sharers. They share their life. Nick is not one of those people. I think Nick is more like you, like me, where we keep
Yeah.
that stuff to ourselves.
Yes,
But
definitely.
Hmm.
I think he definitely saw that he would be on the outs if he didn't share a story that he didn't, and I think he already felt that he was on the outs. So I feel like he didn't want to, but did it based on feeling like he was on the outside.
Can I
Like,
say that I like Nick, by the way?
Yeah, I mean, you can like anybody you want. Doesn't mean you're right, right? But um,
Sometimes I like that low key jerky guy because he's not cocky. He's a little bit arrogant, but
yeah,
I like him.
yeah. I don't know. There's something that about him that rubbed me the wrong way. Um, and I know there's someone here on the cast that got in trouble um with Survivor production because they shared a picture with someone else, and I don't know who it is actually because I make
I
a
don't
lot of
remember
content.
who it is either,
Um, I
but
make
I don't want
content.
to know anymore because I think if we know, I thought their punishment ones they weren't allowed at the finale.
Which, if you're not allowed at the finale, you lose like $10,000 because you get $10,000 just for showing up at the finale. You know that, right? Even
Right,
if you
and
don't
that
party.
means that they might not have won. What's the point? They weren't
Yeah,
even. So I don't want to know who it is.
I don't know who it is, and I didn't click. I had narrowed it down to two people, but I'm not sure. So, but just based on the episode, um, yeah. Anything that I'm forgetting? Anything that might have crossed my mind or crossed your mind about the episode?
I was gonna say my wife was in the same boat as Kim on the on that story thing. Like, what? Why would you do that?
The thing is that
Yep.
with him, to me, if I was there, I would have been like, that came out of nowhere because everyone was already quiet about
Yeah.
sharing. And I think though what had happened before is that someone had said they didn't like the way Pat was kind of barking orders, and then kind of said something, and then I got B to share how she felt,
Uh,
and then it all came from there. But then it was like hours later, and then all of a sudden Nick just decides to tell a story.
Some of this stuff, here's the thing. There's things that I've shared about my life that I've been open with for very long. Obviously my son, and that I'm a survivor of domestic violence. With that said, if I never shared it with people, I would not have shared it with strangers on TV.
Yeah.
That's what I don't get. Like,
Yeah,
why?
like I said, I think some people are just naturally sharers. They you get in around people that you might get along with, and you share. People just some people just that's all they do. And we're like I said, like myself, I don't share a lot of personal information.
I don't share a lot, but I lack a filter. I definitely tell people what I'm thinking all the time. I tell my boss he grew a beard, right before I went on vacation, because I went to Florida for like just over a week, and he grew it right before I left. And when I came back, it was gone. So I said, "Hey Morgan, the beard didn't work out for you, did it?"
No, I remember when I had to shave. I think the camera.
I remember when you had to shave your beard.
The camera was like right here. I didn't want to show my. Oh yeah, no. All right, let's go ahead and wrap it up real quick here. Um,
We got to say our MVP.
yeah. We're gonna go with MVP, LVP, and predictions. So Kim, MVP for the episode.
I'm not going first. Greg is our guest. He goes first.
Oh man, I'm gonna say I can't remember his name right now, but I'm gonna say it's terrible. What I call him before, Big Bang Theory.
Christian.
Yeah.
Christian. Well, you stole mine because that's who I was gonna go.
He stole mine too.
Yeah.
So we're all picking Christian.
I was actually.
I switch.
Now, who are you picking now?
He did so well.
The Mayor of Slamtown.
No.
Really?
Of course.
Greg's a joker. So I don't know. Sometimes I can't understand. I don't know if he's joking or not.
Now I go with the Mayor of Slamtown.
Okay, so LVP.
Oh man.
I'll go.
The Mayor of Slamtown.
He's both MVP and LVP.
Yeah, he can be. He's he. That's how wrestling works, man. Don't you know?
So this is I'm gonna do a little bit of a cheat here because I'm gonna say I would have gone with Natalie, based on her rubbing everybody the wrong way, but I'm gonna go with Dan because of what we talked about before. Because he is already doing everything wrong, and we might be wrong, and he might go really far, but he made mistakes that I
no. I think she'll cut him too because she's not stupid.
Yeah. I don't think she was as into him as he was into her.
All right, so I guess I'll go with my LVP. Dan is a very good choice, but I guess we can't pick two of the same people.
No, I mean,
God, just you barely saw many people.
I mean,
so
it's Dan because this is not necessarily pick one person. We can't ever. No, I mean.
Then I'm gonna go with Dan because of again, trying to get into a showmance right away, and it just doesn't make showing everybody the idol. Like, shut up and go home. It just doesn't make sense. I hope he leaves next week.
Greg,
what do I?
I mean, I saw your reaction when I said Dan, so I think you're saying Dan as well.
I was thinking Dan before, and then I just went with Mayor Slamtown. Just he'll be my both. No, but I'm with you. I'm with you both on Dan. Just because, man, how can you make two boneheaded mistakes right off the bat? Just
Yeah. I mean if let's talk about prediction. I already forgot what the next time on Survivor is already. What do you guys think is going to happen next episode?
I think that David will lose again. And they're going after the Puerto Rican girl. What's her name?
Lursa.
Larissa. They're going after
Lursa.
her. Lursa. Because
Um,
remember, they said something. They said she said
Yeah.
something. They're coming after me.
yeah, and honestly, I forgot about this, but I actually she might have been on the chopping block in the first episode too, as well.
Mm.
Not based on what we anything we saw, just based on her pregame interview. I feel like she might have rubbed people the wrong way. Um, but I don't know. Maybe I'm just thinking of like how I would have felt.
Mm.
But
Wait, I need to clarify something real quick.
yeah, go ahead.
I know I addressed her as a Puerto Rican girl. I'm Puerto Rican too. So I just need to make sure everybody knows that so they're not like, well, why did she always say she was Puerto Rican? I'm Puerto Rican too. I didn't know her name. In a few weeks, I'll know everybody's name and I won't have to describe who they are.
I think
That's all.
um I think she's in trouble early. Um, I don't know. I feel if it's David's, I think she it's gonna be between her and Nick. If it's Goliath, I think Natalie's definitely on the chopping block. Maybe
Mm.
Mike.
Natalie can
People,
go. She brings me she brings me nothing.
you never know. She might turn it around. There's been plenty of people who on the first episode you just can't stand, and then after a while, like like Joe
David.
Yeah.
and
Like
David.
David.
And
I
Mhm.
couldn't stand David. I don't know how many episodes went by
I
and
couldn't
I'm
stand
like,
Mike.
vote him off. I don't like him. He needs to go. And then as
By the end,
every
you're loving him.
episode went on, I liked him more. And then I loved him and I wanted him to win.
Yeah.
He grew on you like moss.
Oh my God. He is the cutest friggin' nerd. And I love nerds. So
So we'll leave it there. We'll see what happens with the draft. Hopefully, I actually am really satisfied with my draft. Um, it's not starting off to the big strongest moves, but I actually feel the only thing that I wish I had Elizabeth. Only thing with that is that since I have three people on my team from the Davids, is that if they lose
Mm.
immunity, I lose a lot of points. So hopefully they win the immunity next time, and I'll get the double points or the points that I lost this time around. I might catch up if you can. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and leave it there. I'm sorry, guys, that we started late. Like I said, we had a couple things that really just threw us into like almost 30 minutes late. But I hope that you guys join us next time around, and you guys maybe more people on the chat. Like we did last season, we had quite a bit of people on the chat when we started on time. But I hope you guys enjoyed the season. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Join us back on the Spy Check podcast. Don't forget to subscribe, and we'll be here next week. See you guys.